Okay, hello, hello. I hope you all can hear me. Hey, Goldcraft. So we should see the, should see the tier list up. And if I switch to Geometry Dash and close this, should be able to see that. Okay. All right. So here is our tier list for today. We have 4 tiers: fantastic, excellent, good, and eh. Fantastic is like, wow, this level kind of breaks the boundaries of what I've expected. Everything is awesome. And then as kind of like, it's kind of there. It feels lacking in some sections. But yeah, keep in mind, a lot of these levels are going to be classic levels or neoclassic. So when we're placing these, keep in mind we're judging from a classic 1.0 standpoint. How well is it made for a classic or a neoclassic 1.0? There are a couple that I would argue go a bit beyond that, but we'll get to those when we do. So we're going to start in the order of release, which means we'll do the first 10, which were released at the same time, and then we'll do the community added ones as they come on in. All right, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start things off here. So I'm going to turn off the window capture here. Got Geometry Dash. Let's find our 1.0 community here. We're starting off from the beginning with the first one. To those who don't know, this was hosted by King K64X. This whole event is. You'll also recognize several of the names of the creators as they come by. There are some pretty famous ones that joined this project. So here's the first one, Insomnia Dreams by King K. I need to actually switch to yellow. Sorry, that's GJJ7 color. There we go. So it starts off quite simple, but I think this is kind of the purpose. It's to be like an introduction to the idea, as well as be a Stereo Madness remake. And then here's King K showing off how he normally does, with these very awesome color pulsings. Like a very G-Universe based pulsing here. Yeah, so this was made as so 10 levels were made as a, like, push off for the account. So this was one of the first 10. In fact, it was the first level. It's definitely a little simple, but I think it does something new. It does a lot of interesting stuff here. And let's turn on our window here. Here's Insomnia Dreams. So, I think this is a very solid good, personally. Like, I actually think it's top of good, in fact, because it does such a good job setting the pacing and the scene of what this project's supposed to be about, which is like well-made classic 1.0. And I think it's a great example of that. Can there be an argument for excellent because it's the one that started the project? I certainly think so. What are your thoughts on this? Yeah, Pulvanok, you're right. First 5 were released because King K couldn't release 10 levels at the same time. So he released 5, then he had to wait a day to release the next 5. Just the way that GD loads it in. So, no, I really liked Insomnia Dreams. I think it was a very good example of type of levels that we'll see. Alright, I'm going to move to the next one so we can move swiftly on. This is Always and Forever, not Always Forever. This is also created by King K64X. I did not think I'd make that. Yeah, I am showing GD. Okay, good. Interesting that they didn't put any pulses in this part with the addition of the kick. That's a cool fade out. Interesting designs here in the sky. Like that's pretty minimal. Cool, like memory introduction part. Excuse me. Now that's actually an interesting way to end it, because that's a gimmick I don't see a whole lot. Oh, this isn't CC levels, Fizzy. This is 1.0 community levels. This is anyone could submit a level, and it'd be uploaded on the account. We're celebrating 50 of them. So yeah, it's certainly not as good as, say, Insomnia Dreams was, but I still think it does enough to like stay in good tier. Probably like lower good. There's some curious air deco throughout and stuff like that. So we're going to put it in good. It might get pushed down by other levels. We'll have to see. But I think good's a good place for it. Love to see y'all's thoughts. Goldcraft's another solid one. Hey, Misty. We're streaming tier listing the 50 1.0 community levels if you're interested. Yeah, awesome. All right, we're now going to move on to the third level. And I believe this level is, yeah, it's the first one by a different person. It's by that one mule guy. I don't entirely know, but let's take a look at the project here. I don't think, yeah, I'm not on. There we go. Viva by that one mule guy. So it should be pretty interesting. This is the first one we see a little bit of free rotate being used, I think. That might not be free rotate. What is that? No, that's free rotate. Yeah, that's free rotate. So this is the first free rotate usage, which is valid for the project, but the pulse sync in this is actually really cool. It's really subtle. It works like the dark atmosphere works really well with the music. Really nice subtle block designs. I forgot how good this level is, actually. The subtleness of the pulses and stuff is really well done. Like, yeah, here's Boldenok's comments. This is fantastic. In fact, let's switch to our tier list here. I snapped this picture a while ago, that's why it's outdated, but I think that's our first excellent. I'm gonna be honest, because there's a really solid attempt at block design work, as well as very excellent pulse sync. The vibes of the level work with the music excellently. Is it fantastic? I don't know if it's like mind-blowing, but I certainly think that is a solid excellent. I'd love to hear what y'all have to think about that. Azulhino, Scorch just finished sorting out the ties, so I do have the top 16, which means that I'm going to start working on the videos soon here. I imagine it'll probably be another week or so, because it's going to take me a while. Goldcraft says, I agree, that is awesome. Please share your thoughts as I go through this, everybody. This is meant to be a involved stream. So I'd love to hear what you have to think about each of these. Alright, I only see Goldcraft mentioning something, so we're going to keep moving on. I think I agree with Goldcraft. I think it is probably our first excellent. So, moving on. Eurodancer is created by Lung. Here's Lung. 12 creator points, so you might have heard of Lung before. Let's see what Lung put together. Eurodancer. I'm not a huge fan of when people do this so that the upper grounds. I think there's a better way you can design it. Yeah, it's definitely got some cool stuff. It's like nothing groundbreaking though. I don't like all the default 1.0 block placement. I don't know. I find it a bit distasteful. Because it's like, there's better objects you could do there. Yeah, Goldcraft, I am talking with Enola K about it. We have came with a solution to the amount of people that want to participate. And I think it'll work out well. Anyway, let's talk about Eurodancer. It's a pretty empty level. It's got some fun gameplay. Nothing groundbreaking though, and personally, I don't like the extended use of the 1.0 default block. I personally am thinking about putting it, or where is it, Eurodancer? I think it's kind of meh. Yeah, I do feel it was weaker. There's not a lot of structuring. There's not a lot of like design work, and it's pretty empty air deco wise. It's not terrible though. It's still a fine level for the project. I just think it's kind of meh. I don't know. It's not bad. There's no reason. There's no tier list for like bad because none of the levels are bad. But this one's just kind of meh. So, hey, just Cody, good to see you here. I think E is gonna be the placement here. Alright, gotta keep switching back and forth. The last level of the first 5 released was Retro Love by Taboo. And I'm gonna be frankly honest. This is my least favorite level in the project. I was not impressed. I mean, we'll take a look at it, but you can let me know what you think. Yeah, it's a bit better than I last remember it. Actually, I think I'm thinking of a different project. I might be thinking of a different one. I don't know, I'd have to double check. But I'm not a huge fan of Taboo's levels to begin with. And there's a lot of stuff here that's just like, eh. Oh, it is this level, and one of the biggest reasons I don't like it is because there's like no sync. Good morning, Maniac Dan. Yeah, I know they've got a lot of abstract design. Personally, I don't see the huge appeal behind it, but this level has like the beginning, I think, is really strong. This beginning part is pretty strong. Especially with this rising art. But past that, the level doesn't really have any elements that sync after this beginning. We got a little bit of background pulsing here. From here onwards, there's no pulse sync. There's like no sync at all. Which we got some interesting designs and stuff. Then it kind of just gets a little lazy. Oh dang, I just died. Well, we saw the ending. Yeah, it starts actually quite well, and then it's just like when you get to the end, it doesn't hold up. It kind of just deteriorates a bit. But I mean, I think it's better than like Eurodancer. I don't know if it's an A tier or if it's a good tier. I kind of want y'all's. It's not below Euro. Euro was actually really empty. And I think this level does have something to speak about with progression. Its progression is quite good. I personally think I'm going to put it at the top of E. I think it could have done a little bit more than it did. It's a decently creative project. It's got some cool progression, but I think I'm going to put it here personally. Let me know what y'all think. I understand I might have a bit of a bias, so I'm trying to be as objective as possible. Yeah, that Polinac kind of says it exactly how I would say. All right, thank you, Maniac Dan. All right, so then a couple days later, King K released the next 5 of the initial release because GD refuses to let you upload more than 5 levels. So these are still part of the beginning release. So this is by Aerosurge. This is Aerosurge. I don't know if you've heard of them. I don't think I have before this project, but... Oh, here's that one mule guy. I know like Kay said it felt unbalanced. Alright, interesting. Well, let's take a look. I am on GD. Yes, I am. Okay. Ooh, those pulses are solid. And then they went away for some reason. Why? The music hasn't changed. And now they're back. Great spot for a blackout section. Yeah, I think that's solid. Actually, Goldcraft. Okay, yeah, that initial green background's a little bright. Yeah, that's actually really bright. Wow. I was gonna say, I quite like when it turns to this red. That red looks really nice, but... Yeah, the gameplay doesn't sync that much, but the gameplay is really fun. And I think the pulses do... Yeah, we'll get to Ancient Relics later. It's an awesome one. Talking about bonus level here, I actually think it's a good... I think the gameplay and the pulses, when they do happen, are very solid. I'd actually put it in the middle right now. I think Insomnia Dreams does a better job overall of what it wants to do. But bonus level is still an excellent... Or not excellent, but still a good level. Yeah, this is where I'd say it goes. I'm excited to get to Ancient Relics. Ancient Relics is a great 50th level. We'll be getting into it at some point here. But yeah, below Insomnia, I agree, just Cody. Haven't seen any Fantastics yet. We'll have to take a look at that. And I know... as I contributed to the project, I'm gonna have to rely on some of y'all to help me with the ones that I submitted. All right, if there's nothing else to be said, I'm gonna move on to the next level here. Next up is a level created by Zypher. If you don't know, Zypher made Aether Construct. And Zypher's levels in this... Oh, dang, I lost it. Zypher's levels in this project are really good. Let's take a look. Already we're seeing some pretty interesting designs. Powerful pulses that work with the music. And this part's awesome. I love the incorporation of the half block to help add more detail. It's subtle enough to keep player interest. Also, the way that the ground just melts into like the upper and lower quartile boundaries is so cool. Got a bit of a split ship section here. Oh, that's not fun. There is an arrow, but at the same time, I don't like it when that happens. So I guess it's not actually split. It's maze. Yeah, don't like the maze. First upside down didn't feel that awkward. It does feel a little difficult for the requested 7, but yeah, Zypher Neoclassic is pretty cool. Let's talk about where we're gonna put this. We'll get to hear some Meatball Parade as we do this. This was, oh, I forgot the name. Eternity. I think Eternity goes very. It's either here or here, but I'm personally leaning towards Top of Excellent. I think if the maze part was more fleshed out, I think it might be fantastic. But yeah, I agree. Probably not enough for fantastic, but I do think it's Top of Excellent. In fact, that might remain as Top of Excellent. That level's very good in my opinion. There's just a couple of spots that feel a little underdeveloped. But no, like, genuinely cool level. Anyone else have any thoughts on this before we move on to the next one? Don't be afraid to say them in the chat. This one's not got a lot of comments on it. Well. Alright, not seeing anything else, so we're going to play the Dashiest. It uses the Nastiest by Lemkuja, I think. This is created by Viewshot. If you don't know, Viewshot entered the 1.0 CC. They made a level called Coliseum. It's not the early level Coliseum, it's the later level Coliseum that's like Medium Demon. Very cool level. It's on the CC Resurgence list. So, yeah, let's play it. So far, the gameplay sync is solid. It's a bit tricky in some spots. Oh, this is solid. Good structuring overall. And the gameplay's pretty fun. Apart from a couple spots that feel a little too difficult. Yeah, I think it could have used more, but it does enough, in my opinion. The song is represented quite well. Personally, let's see, let's find it. It would be down here somewhere, yep, the Dashiest. I think it goes here, to be honest. I think it does enough to push it a little bit above. And yeah, this one I think is definitely one on the fold. Personally, I think Insomnia Dreams is a good top of good, in my opinion. I think it does a little bit better than Insomnia Dreams, so I'm going to put it up in the excellent. So I think we're going to do bottom excellent right now. I see some people are saying that's a fair placement. Yeah, it did some stuff really well. It's nice to see. Yeah, okay. This is the 9th level. This is created by TwigX Cabaret. Now, if you have not played TwigX Cabaret level before, they're very much one of the forefront creators of the neo-design movement, and the avant-garde movement, I would argue. They used to be very divisive. Now they're kind of more just accepted, but a lot of their stuff it really tests the boundaries of what is rate-worthy in terms of, I guess, design quality. But what they usually always have is a very strong progression and a very strong eyes to something more than just the level, which I do enjoy. So let's take a look at what they did for the project. So far, nothing mind-blowing. We've got heavy use of the 1.0 block again. Gameplay syncs pretty well. Yeah, that platform was just default blocks. Ugh, not even connected anywhere. I don't know if that was a multipath or what. But yeah, it's got some really cool stuff here. And then like this part with the rotated spikes is really interesting. Once again, it's nothing like mind-blowing. Yeah, I also think we're just a coin route. It's got nice sync. I think it's definitely underdeveloped and stuff, but at the same time, like with most TwigX Cabaret levels, it's simple designs that work well somehow. They're excellent at working simple stuff well. For that, I do think it goes into good. Where is it? Spring Techno. Maybe the bottom of good. Oh, don't tell me this crashed. Yeah, I'm going to say bottom of good. Okay, we did not crash. Thank goodness. Yeah, I think it does enough to not put it into amp, personally. I'm going to put it at the bottom of good. Might be an interesting idea is just for a stream we just play through a creator's levels. TwigX Cabaret would be an interesting one. Because if you like boundary pushing, that creator has done a lot of it. Alright. Finally, we have Land of Forget, created by Majak. Now, if you don't know, Majak, before I started creating 1.0 frequently, I would argue, so this was like before the re-rise of the 1.0 resurgence. Majak is the best 1.0 creator. I think Tornware and Magik kind of had a battle for who was best back in that time period. Magik is criminally underrated. Let's see what he did for the 1.0 project. You should play Distant Heavens if you have not yet, or Technomancer. Both are fantastic Magik 1.0 levels. Already getting some pretty interesting structures. Yeah, so we got some really interesting like designs throughout here. This is definitely not Magik's best work by a long shot. Don't like that blind click. That's a little frustrating. Hey, Penguin. Yeah, the sink does carry this one. Once again, it's a pretty good level. Oh my god. Sorry. Only give me a second. So sorry. Still got congestion from the sickness I had a little bit ago. All right, we're thinking about mid good. So let me turn on window capture here. And this was Land of Forget. I think I personally agree. Is it better than bonus level is the question. Bonus level was the one that had the pretty powerful pulsing. I think it is. I don't think bonus level did a lot design-wise. Land of Forget did. So, I would say it's better than bonus level. I would put it here. With that, we have ranked the first 10 of the 50 levels. So these first 10 were created before the project began as kind of the intro to the project. The project got hosted on the Discord after this release, which means that we can go move on to the next 10 levels here. Starting with Stay Inside Me. Just Cody got the first level, first community level in the account. You know, Just Cody, he's a very frequent 1.0 builder in the server and contests. So let's take a look at what they did here. Personally, I think this is a great song choice for a level in this project. Interesting gameplay there. We got some decent ideas going on, like the little pillars up on top there. Solid gameplay, nothing like crazy, but I don't know. I don't think this is an I think there's enough done that makes it stand out. I think this still goes in good, personally. If it was just my opinion, I would play Stay Inside Me. Where is it? I would frankly put it here. It's got some cool ideas, decent gameplay, it's nothing crazy. I do think it's a little better than Spring Techno. Well, Spring Techno did have some interesting stuff in the latter part. Like, it doesn't... okay, we'll do bottom good. Yeah, that's a good point, Goldcraft. Very bright background for the song. To be fair, Goldcraft, I've been so used to listening to the song basically whenever I play levels. Because I played for 10 years before 2.2 came out, or close to 10 years. I think it was like 9 or 8 years. I would always play through practice mode using that song, so it's I don't even think about like the backgrounds with that one in particular, but you do bring up a good point. I still think it's good. I think it's a solid good tier. I do think with such a quiet song like that, maybe starting off a little bit darker could have been nice, but I don't think it's necessary entirely. Alright, yeah. Starting here is when the tier list is going to get a little bit messy, I imagine. We'll make it work. Next up is Payback. This is the first medium of the project. This is by Deadly Blockman, who is also a frequenter of the 1.0 Discord. Yeah, the pulses really helped carry this part. The gameplay also feels quite energetic, which is kind of hard to pull off. Yeah, that's a solid level. Designs don't do anything crazy. But, like, the sync and the gameplay, the gameplay is a blast. So, I definitely think it's one of our goods. I would, frankly, I put it above bonus level, honestly. I think that was better than bonus level. I do think Land of Forget, based because of its design ideas, I do think it's a little better than what Payback did, personally. So I would put it probably right below Land of Forget. That being said, Payback was really fun. I don't know. Alright, we'll be moving to some of the cooler ones as we go through here. This is the start of the community submissions, so. Do we agree with the placement of Payback? I imagine our good tiers will be quite inflated by the end of this, because a lot of these levels are solid. Alright, I wish my FPS was not garbage, but... Next level is Flight by Zoob, and... back at this time, Zoob's 1.0 creating style was pretty spam heavy. I was thinking like their Always Forever part and their entries to the first contest. But I was actually really impressed by their classic 1.0 when I played this. I thought it was actually really neat. So let's see if that held up in my mind. Lots of fake orbs, but they're easy to spot. Some really strong pulses from the black. As the sun gets more intense, it gets a little bit more brighter. Oh, that's a natural triple. Having bright BGs here, I don't think works. But Muffin, this is not contest levels. This is this is our 1.0 community levels, just to make sure. Okay, so the pulsing I think really works well in this. It's very purplish, but I don't think it's bad. Level's also really fun until you reach the normally spaced triples. I do still think it's good. I would still say that it is a level that once again goes in our inflated good tier. I think I'd put it right above Always and Forever. I also agree, this needed more rocket. Actually, I'm going to put it below because it doesn't have more rocket. What do you mean you make a level called Flight and you have like a rocket part that lasts half a song section? It feels a little weird. But do we agree with this placement? Remember, I'm relying on some of y'all's feedback, so feel free to share whatever you think. Right, as I'm not seeing any other comments here, we're going to move on to the next one. This level is Orange. This is built by King K64X after the event, kind of as a like community starter, I think. Let's take a look. I don't like the BG with the ground color. I think the ground color honestly is a little ugly. There's not a whole lot going on pulse-wise. Like, pulse is still fitting somewhat to the music. This part's got some cool designs. Once again, there's like not a lot going on. Now we're getting some of those pulses. Gameplay's honestly pretty fun overall. Yeah, it's got some really cool stuff. I do think it's one of King K's weaker submissions, and I don't think it was meant to be anything like crazy. I also got an old picture of this one. Once again, I think it's good. I think it's probably down here-ish. I think I'll put it right below Spring Techno. I think it's a little better than Stay Inside, maybe because of the, well, no. I think because of the ending section's, like, cool ideas, I'm gonna put it above Spring Techno. Because it does do a lot of stuff well, like the gameplay, for instance, is really fun. I think it's more fun than Spring Techno, you know. Yes, the Blockman, I played yours. Yours got, I think, was ABAC, right? It's put right up here and good. All right, if anyone has anything else to say about Orange, please say it now. I'm going to move on to the next level just so we can get through as many of these as we can. All right, number 15, Penguin Kid's creation. Penguin Kid, are you still in chat? So if you don't know, Penguin Kid got the 5th place in my 1.0 CC with Cinders of Cataclysm. Let's see what they did for the community event here. I Can't Let Go inspired level, it looks like. I think it'd be cool if we had some, like, pulsing. Very energetic song, but there's not a whole lot going on background-wise. I'm also getting the idea it's meant to be a Can't Let Go remake. Was that a split route? I think that was a split route. Hold on. Let's take a look. That split route's awesome. Neat. Yeah, gameplay's solid. Doesn't really do a whole lot other than that, though. That's my concern, because you got some pretty fun gameplay, but our sync and our the sync and other stuff is kind of not there. Yeah, no problem, Daily Blockman. Yeah, still a fantastic level for the project. I'm just not sure where to place it. That's not one. Broken Destiny. Part of me's thinking top of the like, it does a great job with the gameplay, but there's not much else past that. It kind of feels like a Can't Let Go remake. And for me personally, exact level remake just kind of meh. It's fun to play. You think it's definitely in good NLK? Do you think it's above Orange? I don't think so. I think I would want some more because right now it doesn't have anything like that makes it feel like. Well, I guess the split path. The split route is cool. Maybe. I don't think it's above orange. I think it'd be probably go here. Because we also gotta keep in mind, Spring Techno had some really complex coin routes that are basically split routes too. Yeah, I think you can make an argument between this and Stay Inside Me. Personally, I don't like exact level remakes that kind of are just a level reimagined. But I do think the split route does give it a lot of leverage here. We'll put it above Stay Inside Me. I don't mean to be mean. Just in my opinion, y'all inside bottom of good, so we're gonna go bottom of good. I can totally understand that. But no, Penguin Kid, you did a great job on it. Alright? Penguin, it's a really fun level. And a perfect level for the project. This is what the project wanted. Next up is Calm by Gabriel Mariel. Hey, Gabriel, you're here. Awesome. All right, let's take a look. Notice how the ground is pulsing as well as the background, depending on the type of instrument that's being played. Heavy use of the 1.0 block, which I'm not a huge fan of, but we already talked about that. I think in this case, it's got at least some structure to it. Hang on. So that's something that kind of irked me a little bit. Oh, no, that is blocks. Okay, never mind. There's blocks below that. Nice ending words there. I don't know if there's illegal layering and all. Okay, I can check. Easy way to check that is to just swipe everything, and if it doesn't say default, it means that something has probably changed. That's what I've been doing for the CC. Coins are fine. Oh, there is some layering. Where would that be? Not there. Somewhere in here there's some layering. Is that over here? No. Oh, it's these. They've been changed to top 2. Oh. I don't think that's a big deal, though. Oh, the eyes of the club set monster. Yeah, there's a little layering. I don't think it necessarily takes away, though. I don't think that takes away, personally. Yeah. Let's talk about... Because I really like the vibes this level gives. I think it's got some really cool, like, song sync. I'm not going to talk about the layering. I don't think that's a big deal. I was more concerned if none will put all blocks reused, but we don't have any, so... The big problem that I have with Column is that the designs I don't like. Like, the vibes are awesome. I don't like the designs. And it's like the designs kind of... They pull a lot of weight in this. So I'm debating between where to put it. And I hate having to make this decision. I think, personally, it's on the edge here for me. If it did not have the pulsing that it did, I think it'd put it in eh. But, I don't know, because the ground BG pulse, like call and response, was really well done. I'm gonna have to hear. I know NLK you want it in but anyone else want to pitch in where they would like to place it? The ending screen is neat. I do like that. I think my favorite part though is the BG grounds. Yeah, I need more people to say anything. You think good? All right. So I got one vote for Ed, one vote for good. Oh, Penguin also said in good. We're gonna go bottom of good. I think he did just enough to put it there. I think with having a little bit more varied block design would definitely make it more confidently there. But no, it's a great level for the... Once again, all of these are great levels for the project. I very much enjoy this project and playing through everything. TIERLIST can be a little brutal. I try not to be. Try to be as fair as possible. That's why I have chat help me. Yeah, you got another level that we're gonna look at. All right, this is by the Buzz GD. You've probably seen them in the server a couple times. They have a credit point for my really awesome 1.9 level. So let's take a look at Paradise on E. Already we're seeing some pretty neat designs. And great gameplay sync. Yeah, this is really cool designs. That gameplay there felt really awkward. And why is my FPS going crazy again? Yeah, a couple of those gameplay elements feel like it's misspaced a little bit. We're like, whoa, what? No, that's really cool. That's an awesome level, yeah. I would put it... Let's start with that. Paradise on E. There we go. I would put it in excellent. I think put it here. Really cool designs. Viva, though. Viva had such good, like, song progression, I guess. I wouldn't say it's kind of short. It's still long. It's not like Payback, which is medium. And we also have a short coming up called Planes. That's gonna be curious to judge. It's right here. No, I think Paradise and Eve is excellent, just because the designs are really solid. As well as it does a lot of good pulse work. I think its only drawback is its gameplay, which is why I'm debating if it goes here or here. I'm gonna put it up here. I think enough was done. Yeah. Anyone else want to comment on this level before we move on? Alex, I do remember Busta. In fact, I tried to push a version that I fixed for King K to upload. I don't think he was impressed by my fixes. That's because when I fix stuff, I like to keep it as similar to the original as possible, just change a couple things. But yeah, I'm not the best at level fixing, apparently. Okay, we're gonna move on, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of other chatters about it. Level 17 is Sparkling by NLK. This is their first level towards the project. Already seeing some really cool like design ideas, like the player color glow and the flipped blocks. Now, something you need to know about NLK in particular. I'm going to play back through that rocket section. I want you to notice how he does his background colors. They changed color based on the pitch of the music. And NLK does this in a lot of their projects, especially some of their older projects. They've done a lot of this where it changes the color of the background and the blocks based on how the music is heard, which is really interesting. And that's something I wanted to point out. We also get it here as well. But yeah, the structuring and like designs in this are really cool. Yeah, so now we got to decide. This was... I forgot the title already. Sparkling, right. There it is. Is it? Because I think this is like a top of excellent type deal, because like we got really cool designs, some really subtle pulsings. Question is, does it do enough to put it to a fantastic? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. So Yeah, the designs weren't crazy. They were interesting, not crazy. I think top of excellent works. Oh, you're thinking high tier good. Oh, I misread that. I don't agree. I think this is high tier excellent. Because you got to keep in mind, Viva, all of these have had subtle, like, block design stuff. I would say this one does as well. I think this is an excellent one, especially with how the pulsing was worked. Personally, I think this goes into excellent somewhere. I would not put it in good. Then again, I might be biased, but... would love to hear where people put in some input. Wait for more people to share. Because, like, we're gonna keep in mind, the top of good is Insomnia Dreams, which had no, it didn't have any, like, interesting designs at all. I'm of the opinion that this is better than Viva. Even better than Eternity, but if we don't think that, I would be more than happy with putting it farther down or up. I know we got 13 people in chat, so if we could have more people think about where they'd like to put this, I'd appreciate that. See, Alex Birder's saying excellent as well. No, NLK can't comment on this. Yeah, I'm going to leave it here in excellent. I'll put it right below Eternity. I personally think it might be above Eternity, but that is something we can sort out later if you want. A lot of these screenshots I got are old, because I planned on doing this for 30 levels, and that never happened. So I did it for 50 instead. Okay, we're moving on to the next one. This is the Yunha Su level, created by Yunha Su, who at the time was number 2 creator. I believe they have since been overtaken. Let me double check, actually. Nope, they're still number 2. I didn't know that. I thought Robot Chief overtook them. I guess not. I'm completely wrong. So this is by Yunha Su. Yeah, Robot Chief isn't even close. I'm complete. I've been tripping. Oh my goodness, the trolls on this one. I always fall for them. This is a cool design. But man, these trolls are brutal. That's not right. Oh my, that's not easy. What? This might be the hardest one so far. Yeah, this gameplay is really difficult. And then it's like not difficult. Maybe a bit unbalanced. But no, those designs were excellent. Really creative designs. The gameplay remains unbalanced, but it's still interesting to play through. Cool pulsing throughout. I think this is another one I would personally give an excellent to. Something you need to know about Yon Hasu is that they have been creating since around this time period as well. Oh, dang. Don't freeze on me, please. There we go. Let's see. This was Magenta Night Core. Oh, my God. Where would I put Magenta Night Core? Probably put it around there, actually. Oh, wait, no, the gameplay was quite... I think just because of the gameplay, it's going down here. I believe, yeah, and start playing update 1.2. Because they... No, Zelink made the Rainbow series. I might be wrong. I don't remember. I'd have to double check, but I think their first level was in 1.2. I'm going to put it in low excellent just because the gameplay is really nuts. Some of the memories pretty unintuitive. But it's not bad per se, it's just really hard. I think harder than they anticipated it being. But it's still a really well done level. Hey, Netflix. Alright, we're going to move on to the next one here, which is the final level of the... it's actually the first event level. Level 20. Bouncy Green Ball by me. So, now it's y'all's turn to give some feedback here. Now, what you need to know, event levels, were the idea behind them was they're levels that do a lot more than the normal. They might push the 1.0 boundaries a little bit. They might do a gameplay concept. I think one of them is like a level that has 100 different ways you can complete it. So these are considered to be like the top tier levels of the project. I was not anticipating to be the first event level. I made this level as just like wherever the song took me. I made it in a couple days. And King K was like, okay, we got our first event level. So it's going to be up to y'all what you decide. This is also the first Sent 1.0 community level. So, and yeah, Deadly Black Midi definitely caught the secret way. I did not mean that for that to be a thing. Like I said, I made this in like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, I honestly, it comes off a little messy in this beginning section. I went a little bit ham. Really proud of those circles. I don't know if anyone caught that, but the screen pulses yellow and pink, which is supposed to be a reference to me. It's just a little small like logo insert. The screen out the edges here also moves in a spherical motion, referencing the green ball. Yeah, this is my first free rotate project besides my Always Forever part. So, where do y'all think it goes? Let me pull up the tier list. Where do we think it goes? I'm gonna shrink that down. I think that's causing a lot of lag on the tier list sites. Nope, tier list site's still being a laggy piece of crap. We're gonna unwindow it. Nope. I'm getting the idea that using my scroll wheel is causing lag here. So. Excellent tier. Fantastic. Fantastic or excellent. Deadly Blockman, the reason they break is because once you have 40 pads on screen, any other pads will stop showing particles. It's an unfortunate side effect of the game's rendering. It's meant to reduce lag. Well, we need to decide between excellent and fantastic. Keep in mind, we do not have any fantastics yet. So I guess what the question is does this do enough to be fantastic? Eternity's a level by Zypher. It's got like subtle block designs. Fun gameplay, decent pulse sync. It doesn't do like anything that's crazy though. Yeah, I'm seeing majority fantastic. I will put in fantastic. If you all change your mind later, feel free to move it down. I went a bit ham on it. I'm fully aware. Oh yeah, I think this has gotten sent maybe 3 times. I don't remember. So once again, we can make decisions later. This is more of just preliminary placement, but okay, we're almost halfway there. Next up is Oasis, created by Floofy42. I don't know too much about Floofy. Oh yeah, they created Floral Fantasy and Spiked for the 1.0 contest, the first one. So let's take a look. Really interesting gameplay. But that comes a little bit of inconsistencies in timings, but oh, this has got a really interesting vibe to it. Yeah, that's a little tricky too. I think it's still within lines of 9. But frankly, I think this is pretty excellent actually. Like the creativity in this is actually fantastic. It does rely a lot on the default. I don't think it's that bad here. Well, maybe a little bit. Part's really cool. There's good sync in the background and the gameplay. Got some interesting designs, creative elements. That part's really hard, but let's talk about where it goes on the tier list. My initial reaction is to put, I used the scroll wheel again. Initial reactions to put it in like bottom tier excellent. You can see being in bottom of fantastic, interesting. Oh yeah, Magenta Nightcore had that gameplay issue. I don't know if I put it there. It does have the gameplay, while very cool, also has its own gimmicky issues. Maybe I put it here. Maybe I think Sparkling did a better job overall, but yeah, there's a few gameplay issues on that feel a little weird. For instance, that one rocket part I just died in. But I do think it's in the upper excellent for sure. In my opinion. I wouldn't say fantastic, but I don't know. I don't know between these three. What do we think? How would you put it in excellent? Does it go first, second, or third? Below Sparkling as well. Okay, so about third. Above Sparkling. Interesting. So second. Second, in my opinion. Okay. Seeing 2 votes for above Sparkling. And okay, of course, votes against his level. In fact, I think NLK voted against this level in the community bracket every single round. I'd have to double check, but yeah, that's 3 for above. I'm seeing 2 for below. Another one saying second. All right, we'll put it right above Sparkling. NLK did vote against their entry every single round, which is weird because their entry also won the entire bracket. All right, next up we have, this is really weird. This is a recreation of Blast Processing. It's probably the best recreation of Blast Processing with 1.0. Now, this is an amazing blast processing recreation. Here's what you need to know, though. It's not the first. I made this back in early 2.1. Is it good? No, it's not. It's quite, in fact, much worse than the other one. But that's something we need to discuss is... Yes, it looks really cool, but we also got to keep in mind... I'm going to pause here. We got to keep in mind that this is just recreating stuff from blast processing in a 1.0 idea. Okay? Like, this, it's the same thing I did, only done extremely much better. We're not going to talk about my terrible attempt on it. It's a fantastic recreation. But then we also got to ask ourselves... Where does this place? Because it doesn't use any, like, original ideas. And this is the thing we're going to talk about with when geometrical domination comes up. Gabriel Mario's second level. That level actually, it's a recreation of Geometrical Dominator, but it does stuff that branches away from Geometrical Dominator. And it's got some actually interesting elements to it. This is pretty much an exact recreation. They just took the gameplay and redone it. So, question is, where does this place? I don't know where to put this on the tier list. Like, it's really well decorated. The pulses are great, but the pulses are great because they're exactly the same as blast processing. So it's like, yeah, we got cool pulse sync, but it's not their pulse sync. It's RobTop's pulse sync. We got cool gameplay, but it's not their gameplay. It's RobTop's gameplay. Slightly edited to make it work for 1.0. This is probably one of the most tricky ones to place because I'm really not sure what the best way to go about this is. Because it could just be like, yeah, excellent remake, or just put it low excellent, or it could be like, it's not doing anything very original and put it in good. I think it maintains a good enough quality. I think it should probably be bottom excellent. But this is probably the hardest one to place of all of them. Because it's such a weird case. It's a recreation of an already existing level in a 1.0 setting. Yeah, everything here is original except for this one. And geometrical domination, but we're getting to that later. I'm going to put it at bottom of excellent. If y'all have any gripes about that, feel free to blame me in the comments. But this is the best blast processing recreation I think we could ask for. Because the one before it, mine was actually horrible. Like, we don't talk about it. It's so bad. Yeah, we're going to go afloat. Bottom of excellent. Alright, what number are we on? Oh, we're on 23. Bionic Button. This was made by Kinda Experts. This is their first contribution. I think they contributed 3 times, if I'm correct. But yeah, Kinda Expert, if you don't know, they made Pathfinder and Old Beast, both very good 1.0 levels. Alright, we're seeing some of that awesome sync elements that they did in Pathfinder. Some interesting designs here. Stars are a cool addition, as well as the fading on a lot of the blocks. All right, NLK I see is mentioning top of excellent. Where do we think bionic button goes? Is it better than Oasis? That's the question. Or better than Sparkling? I think it does do enough stuff to put it better than Sparkling, maybe. FedEx, I'm not. I'm playing at 90 FPS. It's just when I record, it's caps it at 80 for some reason. When I'm streaming, it caps it at 80. When I'm recording, it caps it at 90. I'm trying to play at 120, I'm pretty sure. I don't know why streaming makes it so weird. I can't figure out OBS at all. You think it's above Eternity? I'm going to disagree with you on that one because the gameplay on this one is worse than Eternity. There's a lot of sections in this where it's really tight. Eternity's upside down was not that unbalanced, so no, okay. I think Bionic Button's gameplay is slightly worse. Where do we think? Is it above or below Eternity? Do we think second of excellence is a good place for it? That's a better question. I know, maybe, I think maybe above Eternity. Because the ending section with the stars and some of the other elements, I think, does carry it a little bit. I'll just put it up here. If you disagree, please comment in the YouTube comment section below. I hope this is also fun for y'all. I don't know how dry I am or something. Okay, next up is Rainbow Road. Now, fun fact about this level is this is one of the very few levels that I edited and not King K. I edited 3 levels. Bust It, which never got accepted. Rainbow Road and Geometrical Domination. So I added just a couple things to this that helped kind of tie it together, but this is ultimately by Falling Pie. Like, I added spikes to the ground in sections that didn't have a lot of spikes, for instance. Like, right here, this used to be just an empty ground. I think I added spikes here to help carry it. But this is an interesting level. Very rainbow. Looks like King K might have also added some stuff to it. Because I did not add these circles, and these were not, I don't think, originally there. Like I said, I'm very subtle when I'm remaking stuff. Because this is a very odd level. You know, this one did get sent. I forgot about this. I don't know why it got sent. This would not be my first choice of sending. But no, it did get sent. This level is interesting. The designs of it are designed to look like a player from the time period. So there is a lot of incomplete structures. And for instance, the pulsing is not smooth. It's like insta-pulse. A lot of the stuff that was added in like the black section was by King K to help bolster it. It used to just be like solid black, which I was okay with, but it's a tough one to place. I could see it being top of ebb, but I do think the pulses do put it enough to be bottom good. Maybe not very bottom good. I don't know. It really depends who you ask. I'm going to put it here. Some of the designs are interesting, though they do still feel relatively incomplete. Do y'all agree with that kind of placement? Do you think it deserves there? Feel free to tell me. Spam little hearts there. Spam some hearts for y'all. I appreciate y'all joining me on the stream. And okay, and Alex have agreed. I had to text my girlfriend there, sorry. Alright, let's head back to the levels here. Well, this is level 25, halfway through. I might have to split this into 2 streams. This was created by Wafflex. I believe they changed their name to Waffly or something. But they are a moderator who is also a relative fan of 1.0, I believe. So let us take a look at this level. I don't like the orbs up there. I think that looks weird. A bit of a maze section here. Nice sink there. Yeah, very black and white. They go by Waffy Bun now. Yeah, I forgot what they did. Very black and white. Not a bad thing. Got some pretty interesting designs. I don't like the yellow orb chains, but that's just for one section. Where does it place is the question. Oh, don't scroll. So that is... Oh, I always lose it. Fallen Skies, right? Yeah, Fallen Skies. Where do we place Fallen Skies? I can see an argument being made for bottom excellent. Like right here. Yeah, the pick a path was really difficult to differentiate. I think it's easier to differentiate them like Magenta Night Core's bakes were. I'm personally thinking there. It's got some really excellent elements and some really interesting designs. So Looks like a lot of us are agreeing on that. All right. Okay, I think let's try to get through these 30 here before we take a stop. 26 is Hexennock, and this is probably one of my personal favorites of this community tab. I think the other one that I really like is God Complex, but that's a much later down the line. This level is really, really well done. Why is my FPS at 34? I'm gonna reload my game real fast. I don't know why GD has so many problems lately trying to play. Alright, should be seeing it soon here. There we go. Yeah, this is by Maniac Dan, if you did not know. And it is really cool. And my FPS is back down to 40. You've got to be joking. I don't get it. I do not understand why my FPS has been crashing so bad lately. I don't get this. I really don't understand. Because I've looked it up and I cannot figure it out. I don't know which issue. Now it's back up to 80. Like, what's... I think it's OBS, because I've been able to play it off stream and have no problems. I'm back down to 30. I don't know why. I know I have a weak PC. I've got a laptop. But the problem is I've been able to stream Always Forever streams without this problem. I don't know what's going on recently that's been causing a drop to 30 FPS. You know, that is true. OBS recently pushed updates. I don't know what has been changed. But whatever changed has kind of made it worse. Other thing I can try is... Okay, I'm trying my Wi-Fi instead of my wired. We're gonna see if that does anything here. We start with some pretty simple designs here. Yeah, it just tanked at this section right here. I don't know why. I'm back at 30. I don't get it. I do not get it. Like, and then now it's just stuck at 30. I don't understand what's happening. It happens every stream from the last couple weeks, and nothing I have tried has stopped it. No, I wasn't. The very beginning, I was at 80. The moment I reached the rocket, it switched to 30 and didn't go up. Yeah, where are we gonna put the level? I quite enjoy it, personally. It's got some really cool arts and stuff. So I think it's probably very solid, excellent. It's not like mind-blowing like some of these other ones, but I'd maybe put it there. High excellent, similar and excellent. Yep, I agree. Put it like right here. Top of excellent, maybe? Better than Oasis. Okay. How about it right here? I think I like it better than Eternity, personally, so. Yeah, I'm gonna restart my game again, because it's still running 30 FPS and it's not bounced back. I increased it to 120. And here you can see it's dipping all the way down to 30. Wow. Okay. All right, I guess that's our stream, because I don't know why this is being such a stubborn thing. Like, GD is not running this. OBS does not want to run while GD is running right now. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to look into this a little bit more. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. I will stream the rest of this at some point later. Maybe tomorrow. Have to see. But yeah. Have a good rest of your day.